Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt a little slower than you used to be? Maybe your knees complain, your back murmurs, and your energy just isn't what it once was. You're not alone. And here's the good news. Building strength and feeling good again doesn't have to mean pushing yourself through painful workouts or high-impact moves that leave your joints aching for days. In fact, some of the most powerful exercises you can do after 60, 70, even 80 are the ones that look the gentlest. They don't rely on sweat or soreness. They rely on consistency, intention, and just a little guidance. So today, we're going to talk about 4 easy, joint-friendly exercises that truly make a difference. These movements may seem simple at first, but don't be fooled. They wake up your muscles, support your bones, and help protect you from the falls and stiffness that often come with aging. Let's ease into this together, because taking care of your body should feel good. The first one is something so basic you might be tempted to overlook it. Standing. Not walking, not jogging, just standing, but with purpose. We're not talking about balancing like a stork or holding a yoga pose for hours. Just standing tall, with intention. Posture is one of the most underrated parts of strength. When you realign your body and simply practice standing up straight, shoulders relaxed, belly tucked slightly in, head held tall, you're activating muscles all the way from your feet to your jawline. What happens when you start doing that regularly? Your core strengthens. Your breathing deepens. Your joints begin to shift into healthier positions. And the best part? You can do it anywhere. While brushing your teeth, waiting for the kettle to boil, even during commercial breaks. The second gentle but powerful exercise is chair squats. Now don't worry, this doesn't mean dropping down to the ground and trying to get back up. Chair squats are exactly what they sound like, using a chair to guide you as you sit and stand with control. That slow motion of lowering yourself down onto the seat and then pressing back up to standing works your legs, hips, and glutes. And because you've got the chair for support, there's no risk of falling. If that first squat feels wobbly, that's okay. Just place your hands on your thighs and go slow. Over time, you'll build confidence and strength. 1 or 2 a day is enough to start. By the end of the week, you'll notice you get up from the couch with less effort. The stairs won't seem quite as steep. These tiny wins add up, and they matter more than you know. Now, I want to pause here for a second and acknowledge something important. If you've been dealing with joint pain or stiffness, it's not your fault. So many of us were told for decades to push through or to rest completely, when in truth, the right movement is the key. The body wants to move, but it wants to do it gently, with kindness. That's what this is about. Supporting your body, not punishing it. It's also never too late to start. Whether you're 62, 75, or 89, strength can be regained. I've seen folks who hadn't exercised in years discover that with just 5 minutes a day of intentional movement, they felt stronger than they had in a decade. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Just a little space, a chair, and a commitment to yourself. Now that we've talked about posture and chair squats, let's move forward with another movement that brings strength without strain. Now that we've talked about posture and chair squats, let's move forward with another movement that brings strength without strain. This one doesn't even require you to stand up, just a seat and a pair of gentle hands. I'm talking about seated arm circles. It may sound simple, but these small circles done with control can wake up your shoulders, arms, and upper back. And if you've ever struggled with putting on a coat or reaching for something on a shelf, you know how important that strength really is. Sit comfortably in a chair, keep your back tall, and lift your arms straight out to the sides, like forming the letter T. Then, begin making slow, controlled circles forward, about the size of a small teacup. Do that for 10 seconds, pause, and then do the same thing going backward. This movement works deep into the rotator cuff and stabilizing muscles around your shoulders. And because you're seated, there's no risk of losing your balance. Over time, it improves flexibility and mobility in the arms and shoulders, areas that tend to stiffen up with age, especially if we spend a lot of time sitting or avoiding certain movements out of fear of injury. It's gentle, but it's powerful, just like you. And here's something beautiful. When you do these small exercises, you're not just improving muscle tone. You're telling your brain, I still want to move. I still care for this body. That message matters. Every motion you make is a quiet form of self-respect. Let's keep going. This next exercise might just become your favorite part of the day. It's not one you'd find in most gyms or fitness classes. It's called water walking. Picture this. You're in a shallow pool, chest deep, maybe waist deep if that's more comfortable. The water holds your weight, easing the pressure on your knees and hips. And yet, it gives gentle resistance to every step you take. You're walking slowly, deliberately, through the water. Each movement feels fluid, smooth, supportive. Water walking strengthens the entire body, from legs and glutes to core and arms, without the wear and tear of land-based exercise. It's perfect for those dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or just a history of feeling like traditional workouts leave them sore and frustrated. And there's something else. Water calms the nervous system. There's something magical about moving through it. It soothes your joints and your thoughts. You might leave the pool feeling stronger in your body and lighter in your spirit. Not everyone has access to a pool, of course, and that's okay. There are always other ways to keep moving. But if you do, even once a week, water walking can become a form of moving meditation. Now, maybe as you're hearing this, a voice pops up in your head that says something like, I'm too old to start, or it's too late for me. If that voice shows up, I want you to picture this. A woman named Marlene who started doing seated stretches and water walking at 78 after 2 hip replacements. Within months, she was sleeping better, laughing more, and feeling hopeful again. It wasn't about becoming an athlete. It was about reclaiming control over how she felt each day. That's the point here. We're not chasing youth. We're embracing strength right where we are. Sometimes the hardest part is starting. But I promise you, once you begin, even just a few minutes a day, you'll feel the shift. Not just in your body, but in your confidence, in how you carry yourself, in how others begin to see you again. One viewer once wrote, I started doing chair squats during the commercials of my favorite show. Now I can get up from the couch without using my hands. That's a win worth celebrating. And you deserve that kind of progress too. So don't worry about doing everything perfectly. Don't count reps or track time unless it makes you feel good. The goal is gentle strength, sustainable strength, the kind that lasts. Now that we've touched on standing tall, chair squats, seated arm circles, and even water walking, it's time to explore one more movement. A quiet exercise that builds strength from the inside out. You don't need to break a sweat or even stand up to do this next one. In fact, you can do it right now, wherever you're sitting. It's called the core pull, and it might be one of the most underrated movements out there, especially for seniors. Think of it like this. Your core is your body's power center. It helps you sit tall, stand up straight, walk confidently, and stay balanced. When your core is strong, you move through the world with less effort and less risk of falling. And when it's weak, you feel it. You slump forward. You tire faster. You may even begin to doubt yourself in small but noticeable ways. So here's how the core pull works. Sit tall in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands resting gently on your lap. Now imagine there's a string tied to your belly button, and someone is slowly pulling it back toward your spine. You're not holding your breath, and you're not sucking in your stomach like you're posing for a photo. This is different. It's a slow, deep tightening, a gentle hug from your own muscles. Hold that pulled-in feeling for about 10 seconds while breathing normally, then release. Repeat a few times a day. That's it. And yet, over time, you'll notice you sit straighter, feel more in control of your movements, and even carry less tension in your lower back. This isn't about chasing six-pack abs. It's about stability. It's about walking into a room and not worrying about losing your balance. It's about having the strength to reach, bend, and rise with confidence. And you know what else? These kinds of exercises, so small, so gentle, often create the biggest change. Because they're doable. They don't overwhelm you. They give you a little win every time. And those wins, they add up. Here's something that may surprise you. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who practiced deep core engagement, just like this, experienced better posture, reduced back pain, and increased balance after just 6 weeks. No weights, no gym. Just tuning into their own body with intention. Isn't that encouraging? Because too often, we're told the only way to stay strong is through intense workouts, personal trainers, or pushing past pain. But that's simply not true. You don't need to hurt yourself to help yourself. Let's also be honest. After 60, 70, even 80 years of living, our joints have been through a lot. From climbing stairs to lifting grandchildren, our bodies deserve exercises that care for them, not punish them. That's why everything we've talked about today is designed to strengthen without strain. And remember, it's never too late. There's no deadline on getting stronger. Whether you're 71 or 91, your muscles can still respond. Your body still wants to move. It's just waiting for you to invite it gently. Let me share a quick story. One of our longtime viewers, Carlos, emailed us after trying the seated arm circles and core pull every morning while his coffee brewed. Within a few weeks, he said he didn't need to push off the counter anymore to stand up. "It's not just the strength," he wrote. "It's how proud I feel doing it." That kind of quiet pride? It's priceless. So, as we wrap up, let's take a breath together. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your feet flat on the floor. Sit just a little taller than you were a minute ago. That right there, that gentle lift, is strength being born. Your body doesn't need to move like it did at 30. It just needs to move like it can today. And with these exercises, standing tall, chair squats, arm circles, water walking, and core pulls, you're not just building muscles. You're building trust in yourself. You're showing up for the future version of you who still wants to walk freely, reach without fear, and live with confidence. If you've tried any of these exercises, or have your own favorite gentle movements that make you feel stronger, I'd love to hear about them. Share in the comments below. You might just inspire someone else watching. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. It tells us we're on the right path and helps others discover it too. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video that might change the way you move, feel, or think. Here's to your strength. Here's to your journey. And here's to living with ease, power, and a little bit of grace at every age.